You have any joy? I could really use some joy today, yeah!
We're the Bobbies, we're gonna get you. We're the Bobbies, we're gonna hit you. We're the Bobbies, we're gonna make you pay for not remembering to take your meds today. Yeah, Bobbies, yeah.
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another epic game review. Finally, it's here. We Happy Few. This was a game that was kick-started a long time ago, and I thought it got close to like 8,000 backers, and they finally, just now, after all these years, even when they had an early release version, finally came out with the version that we got today. Is it any good? Or is it something that should pop some pills and just head off into the sunset and avoid? Well, stay tuned to my epic review to find out. We Happy Few. It was just released on August 10th of 2018 for the PC, the Xbox, and the PlayStation 4. It is a first-person, almost sort of roguelike style, survival horror style, kind of first-person game. And the best way to kind of describe this game to you people is, say, take a cartoon aesthetic of Austin Powers and combine it with certain bare-bones aspects of like a Bioshock in terms of the grittiness of the level designs and the stuff that's going on. And that's kind of what this game will kind of remind you when you're playing it, though it has some really odd issues to it. Now, the game takes place in an alternate version of England during World War II in the 1960s in a town that is called Wellington Wells. And basically society is collapsing due to the overuse of a drug known as joy that all the people are forced to take. And it's basically given to people in order to make them not be, realizing just how bad they actually have it. I mean, if you look around and see everything is all drab and basically society is dying, and so they keep these people medicated on joy to keep them happy, so they're delusional and they don't have any perceptions of what reality is. I mean, talking about it, people are totally just totally blissfully unaware of their surroundings. I mean, you'll even see it early in the game with some of the footage that I'm actually showing that, like I said, it has a lot of Bioshock aspects to it. And that's why I'm saying it's Bioshock-esque, is because it does. It has some really morbidly messed up story parts to it. And when it first starts off, it can be rather boring, but as you progress through, you actually see that this game starts picking up and actually has some pretty cool stuff in it. Now, as the game starts, you start off playing a character named Arthur Hastings, who decides not to take his happy pill for the day. And this is a nice little thing. It almost has a Far Cry sort of thing going with it. In the terms like you have given a choice of taking the pill or not taking the pill. If you take the pill, you'll get a fake ending like Far Cry did, which is pretty cool. But if you avoid to take the pill, then stuff starts happening. People realize you're considered a downer, as they're called. People that don't take the medication, they're normally ousted from the area or just downright killed and murdered as you go around on your big adventure. You play through the game, and as the story progresses, you will get to play two other characters. You don't get to switch between them. As the story goes, you will switch to these other two characters. One, I believe, is the name is Sally Boyle, and the other one is named it's Ollie Starsky. Yeah, Ollie Starsky. And each of these characters have their own perks and benefits and some of their disadvantages. Like the main character you play as, he's really weak and he's into basically melee combat with the weapons. While Sally is more affiliated with more of a sneaking aspect.
I know you're around here somewhere and I will find you. Confounded, I know he's around here somewhere.
Wow, that was close. And she uses chemicals and drugs to drug the guards and the people to knock them out. And Ollie is just, pretty much, he's into explosions. He's a specialist when it comes down to explosives. So each one will play roughly a little bit different as you go through. Now this game has a really odd thing about it. It has a day-night cycle and it's time-based. So what I mean by that is, if the best way to describe it is, it's not as firm as like a Dead Rising game, but you know how you have to complete all your objectives and beat the game in a certain amount of time or the end of the game happens? That'll happen in this too. You have a set amount of game days that you have to progress through and beat the game in before society collapses completely. And through this day-night cycle and everything like that, you'll have to pay close attention to that. And the other big thing about this game is the game world itself is procedurally generated. Now what I mean by that is, once you start up your game, it'll take a good amount of time to load it. But when you do, the whole game world and its 5 districts or areas you can go through will be randomly generated, to where a lot of times one playthrough through the game you'll get to go to certain areas and do certain missions that if you play through another playthrough of the game you might not ever even come across, or might find something new, which does add a little bit of replayability to the game. And the other thing I have to say it's really cool is when you start up, you're given multiple options on this game in terms of difficulty. You can have your standard, normal, easy, hard difficulty, and then you have adjusters for everything else, including just the fighting mechanics, the AI of the characters. Even has a permadeath feature. And the other thing with this game that's kind of odd is it also features the fact you have to take care of your character. Now what I mean by that is you have to sleep, you have to eat, and you have to drink water. Now, depending on your difficulty, that makes it to where it's not really going to limit your character unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty. When you do that, then you can pretty much run into some major problems because it affects his stamina and everything else throughout this game. And you can find items throughout your adventure like food you can eat, medications you can take, water you can drink, and stuff like that to keep your stats up. And of course, other items you find along the way you can take that will add a stat boost or help you heal and stuff like that. Now, the other big draw in this game, which kind of got it in trouble, is the fact that it does promote drug use. Well, not really, but the game uses a mechanic with the drug called joy. You can actually take it throughout your adventure, and when you do, it can really lead to some really interesting effects, since a lot of the people are forced to take this drug.
I've got you now, and it's time to take your pill and conform.
That pill's way too large to swallow.
Oh, it ain't going in that end.
Now, if you take enough of it, you can go into certain areas, and the other characters or enemies, if they see you're high, they'll leave you alone, basically. If they see you as a downer, they'll attack you. They'll send the bobbies, which is their form of the police, after you to kill you or knock you out, which will move up time, which will cost you a lot of stuff in the game. If you're on permadeath mode, it starts you all the way completely over. But you can't actually overdose on this stuff. If you take too much, you'll start hallucinating, and when you come off of the drug too, you'll have like relapses with it too, to where you'll be really hungry and really thirsty, and you'll have to fall asleep. You can pass out from taking it. So it's actually interesting, the use of the joy drug in the game. You can actually lead to actually having some severe issues with it. Now, as you progress through this roughly 20-hour long game, as you go to different districts, each person will be different. If you go to a different district, you might be a dirt district, really poor, people that are thrown out because they're downers, they can't take drugs no more, so they're all dirty and they're beat up, and you have to match the part. So if you go in and wearing a nice suit or something, they'll attack you and kill you on the spot. You got to make sure you match with the area. So if you're in a classy place, you got to make sure you're wearing a fly suit and tie so you can fit in with the other people. And like if you're trying to break into an area, let's say like you want to go into this mechanics area, you might have to wear a boiler suit not to draw attention. But even though you might have the right outfit on, the AI of the enemies, they seem to figure you out really, really quick. So even if you do everything the right way, sometimes it can lead to pretty much the enemies just hauling out and attacking you. And even though this is supposed to be sort of a stealth-based game, it does give you the variety of doing what you want. There's a lot of times I just ended up having to fight the people with my weapons. Which leads to another thing about this game. The weapons break. Yes, I'm afraid they break. Nowhere near as bad as, say, Breath of the Wild, Zelda. But your weapons will break quite constantly. Fortunately, throughout your gameplay, you'll find so many different weapons from defeating enemies and stuff like that. You never really run out of a weapon, which ain't too bad of an issue. I mean, you can actually do a lot of stuff with the weapons. It's neat, and you have multiple weapons on you at one time you can switch through. Oh crap, a Bobby!
A stick? What are you gonna do with that?
Oh, not much. I got an idea. How about a cricket bat?
What? That's better, but I don't think it's gonna do the job.
You got a good point. How about a frying pan, bitch?
Oh no!
Ha! And along with the weapons, you also have a crafting ability from items you pick out through your adventure. You can use it to craft everything from lockpicks to health items to upgrading your weapons to make stat boosting potions, health items, and stuff like that to get you on your way. And you gotta be careful with this though, because a lot of times you'll run out of the items and you have to backtrack to an area to find more items to craft. Because I had this happen early on. I didn't have a lockpick on me, and you'll go to a lock and it's like, it's locked. Well, you can't do anything unless you have a lockpick. Well, you get a lockpick, you have to find some bobby pins and craft them into a lockpick, which is a one-time use each time, I might add. And you have to do that throughout your game. And you're like, well, that ain't that bad. I'll just collect a bunch of stuff. Well, here's another thing. You have limited inventory space. I mean, it's not like 4 spots. You get a good amount of space. And when you do get full on having a lot of stuff in your inventory, you can go back to your safe house and drop off stuff you don't want to keep on you in like a safe box that you can use at a later date, which ain't that bad. And of course, you can go and upgrade your character to where he has more slots to hold on to stuff. Now, you also get an upgrade system for your characters that allow you to do everything from increase your health, increase your abilities like your stat points, the ability to see like enemies walk patterns and stuff like their feet, and stuff like that. As you progress through the game, you can upgrade your character. It makes it a lot easier on this game. Now, roughly through this game, like I said, it'll take you about 20 hours to get through it. There's 5 different islands or wards or whatever they're called that you go through, and it's different each time, which is kind of cool. And I found it to be an interesting game. Not quite as good as a Bioshock game by far, but the atmosphere is very well done. The voice acting is very top notch. The animation and the character models are really kind of weird looking at first, but you kind of get used to it. I would say it's about an average game. It's not special, but it's not garbage. It's definitely playable, but it does have some flaws with it. First of all, right now it doesn't really have too many features with it. They do plan to add a free update in the future that opens up a sandbox mode so you can play through the full game without the use of the timer, not having to worry about running out of time and having your game end, which is going to be nice. And they also do plan to have future DLCs for more money coming in the future, which that's kind of standard too, let's be honest. But you figure the price of the game, it's a $60 game. Originally, this game was supposed to be like $20-30. But as soon as it went on to become a full-fledged AAA title and got published by Gearbox, they decided they did add a lot more content to it and fix a lot of things early to like the pre-access launch that they had a long time ago. But in the end, I don't really feel it's worth $60, even for a 20-plus hour game and what it has in it. And it does have a lot of glitches. Now, this is day 1. I'm sure they'll have patches to work out the glitches. But right now, I've had massive glitchiness of characters where they just appear and stand. Like, you'll come out and it's like a Day of the Dead celebration or something. You'll come out and there'll be just all the people just standing, not moving, talking. And it's really kind of creepy, and that's not intentional. I know it's not meant to be intentional. I've also had, as you see in this clip, massive glitches with like drawing, whole buildings not even being rendered in and stuff like that. But the game is still quite playable. It's still a pretty gosh darn fun game. I would just have to say, in its current state right now, unless you were a Kickstarter backer for this game or you were really interested in it, I would say hold off and either rent this title to see if you really like it, or at least wait until it goes on sale. I think at $60, the price point for this particular game, even in its current state and in its future state, doesn't warrant a full price for it. Wait until it's used, pick it up, or rent it. And unless you're a really big fan of this game and you want to really try it. But then again, like I said, just rent the game. Just rent the game at a rent box if you got it. Go to your local video store. They still exist. and rent it before you buy it. That's what I can say, because right now I would say it's not worth it for its $60 price tag. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to say thank you for everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to say thank you for everyone who watches this video. Please leave a comment below if you're playing this game, if you plan on playing this game, what you think about it, and don't forget we still have 2 contests currently going on. The first one is my Epic Big Bucks giveaway, where I'm giving away 2 $500 Visa prepaid gift cards. That will end on September 17th. It's getting closer. Go to that video and enter now while you got a chance. And the other one is my Ultimate Silent Hill giveaway. That one will end on Halloween in October. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.